How's it going, everybody? But she is happier, but she is happier if she so abide after my judgment. And I think also that I have the Spirit of God. Okay, that's closing out. We have no idea what that. We remember what Paul was talking about yesterday, don't we? Men, women, wives, so on and so forth. I didn't even bring this up in the New Living. I was going to see if I can wing it in the King James tonight. Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffed up, but clarity edifieth. Oh, I can already tell. I don't want to miss the message because sometimes there's deeper messages that the New Living will sort of translate to us. No pun intended, New Living Translation. But in my opinion, it would be better for her to stay single. And I think I am giving you counsel from God's Spirit when I say this. Now, regarding your question about food that has been offered to idols, yes, we know that we all have knowledge about this issue. But while knowledge makes us feel important, it is love that strengthens the church. And when I talk about love in the church, it's love for the church, love the church members. It's not love the whole world. It's not a hippie worldwide community. And you will see where Paul will say, throw them out when they're of sin. So I think we already covered that earlier. But if all knowledge makes us feel okay, anyone who claims to know all the answers doesn't really know very much. But the person who loves God is the one whom God recognizes. And of course, God calls you to that. So, what about eating meat that has been offered to idols? Well, we all know that an idol is not really a god. You know, the fallen angels and demons are fallen angels and demons, not a piece of wood or whatever. You get the idea? So we know that idol is not really a god and that there is only one God. There may be so-called gods both in heaven and on earth, you know, the fallen angels and so forth, demons. And some people actually worship many gods and many lords. But for us, there is one God, the Father, you know, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yep. By whom all things were created, for whom we live. And there is one Lord, Jesus Christ, through whom all things were created and through whom we live. Remember, again, my Trinity study, they are one and the same, just a different pathway. Jesus is just a different pathway God used to reach us. However, not all believers know this. Some are accustomed to thinking of idols as being real. So when they eat food that has been offered to idols, they think of it as worship of real gods, and their weak consciences are violated. It's true that we can't win God's approval by what we eat. We don't lose anything if we don't eat it. We don't gain anything if we do. Whew. Wow. I cannot even imagine what all that was in the King James. Let's do the last two verses just for context. Howbeit is not in every man that Howbeit there is not in every man that knowledge, for some with conscience of idol unto this hour eat it as a thing offered unto an idol, and their conscience be weak is defiled. But meat commendeth us not to God, for neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse. Wow. Do y'all not see why we don't read that in the New Living? I'm telling you. All right. And four great beasts, Daniel's vision, and four great beasts came up from the sea. Remember, this is all on a playlist. You go to TS Daily Bible Studies, this YouTube channel, click playlist and watch this from the beginning. Watch Daniel from the beginning. There's or watch Corinthians from the beginning, whichever one you want. Obviously, they are overlapping. They both were started in and or around the same time. Anyway, the first was like a lion. And you know what I need to do? Hang on just a second. So you go to TS Daily Bible, so you click Daniel 7 study. Well, what day did that begin on? September 17th. Well, what I should do in these studies is put on here when I started the study. Seventh Daniel study, September 17th. Okay. So it would fall, actually. Well, anyway, yeah. So when Daniel began, we were finishing up with Mark, is what was going on. All right. Anyway, very good then. Hello. I just felt like I needed to probably have that. So that's good stuff. We're glad we got that. Okay. Ooh, ooh. Four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse from one another. Remember, he's the beast out of the sea. So it said the four great beasts came up from the sea. The first was like a lion. And does sea have any other meaning that we could possibly imagine? Because the Antichrist is the beast out of the sea. So in the Hebrew, sea. That's it. So basically, it just gives nothing. Yeah. And if we say sea, so there's other seas. Let's go to this sea. This is H3220. Sea, Mediterranean Sea, Red Sea, Dead Sea, Sea, Galilee Sea, Mite River Sea. So different language. What no matter. And we'll take it all the way to Revelation. But I want to be a little more specific. And maybe get to Revelation 13. I stood upon the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea. Okay, so let's see the New Testament's version of the sea as it relates to the Antichrist. Let's see, is there anything from it? It's Greek. The sea, used of the sea in general, used specifically of the Mediterranean Sea or the Red Sea. Interesting. Okay. Maybe because Israel, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on it. Israel has harbors, of course, on the Mediterranean. First was like a lion and had eagle's wings, and I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. And behold, another beast, a second, like unto a bear, and it raised up itself one side, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth, of it between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night visions, or in other words, his dreams, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. It was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. That's the Antichrist, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like of a man. Why is that? Because it was a man. I beheld till, well, I'm sorry, and the eyes like of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. You know, who else does that but Donald Trump? Of course, he's not the Antichrist yet. Now, they might already be speaking of him as he was when he was running for office, became president, because he started to really, you saw the mouth that started speaking great things, make America great again, lock her up. Everything that came out of his mouth was extreme. I beheld till but he's not the Antichrist until he gets that deadly wound. And then on the third day, nobody will know it, but he will rise with the spirit of Satan. He will literally be the Antichrist in hiding behind the curtain and running World War III, running, you know, the red horse, black horse, pale horse. And then to end the wars, he will show the world that he has returned from the deadly wound, you know, deadly wound, but did live, Revelation 13. And, you know, Jesus returned from the dead, and the anti-Jesus, Antichrist, will also have seemingly returned from the dead. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days, who is that? That is God. The Ancient of Days did sit, whom the garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head was pure wool. His throne like a fiery flame, his wheels as a burning fire. Love it. And love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.